India is the largest country in the world in terms of population right now, and it has a glorious heritage. A glorious heritage of forbearance, of civility, of innate democratic values, of forbearance to things which you don't entirely agree with, and also to be a constructive part of the development of the rest of the world. At the same time, as they say, if you can't defend yourself in this world, then be ready to be taken over by others. And this has gone down quite well, and at least in the last 10-15 years, we have seen a significant amount of work that has been done in order to ensure that our self-reliance on our ability to stand for ourselves has been well established. It has also been well established that we are not interested in use of that part of our strength for establishing hegemony in the rest of the country, or in the rest of the, sorry, not of the country, but in the rest of the region or any part of the world. It is purely a deterrence to ensure. We know very well that this is not the Ram Rajya where you can leave your doors open. You have to lock it in order to ensure that terrorists and thugs and thieves don't enter and steal away your things. So India is doing just that, except that as the thugs become stronger, we become stronger in order to ensure that the deterrence is well established. Obviously, we've had an issue with Pakistan for over 70 years. There has been a kind of coming down to international pressure with respect to Pakistan over almost 60, so over 55, 60 years. And it is only in the last 15-20 years that we are ready to do what we did once in 1977, which was a glorious annal in the history of India and Pakistan. We also have to understand that post 1971, it never happened that India got full acknowledgement for what it did for Bangladesh, because even Bangladesh kept killing our soldiers, and I suppose that's the nature of how the beast is. And today, we are as much dealing with Bangladesh as we are dealing with Pakistan and China. So I think the first thing I believe is, as a strong power, as a moral power, as a power which has forbearance and a power which is contributing positively to the rest of the world, and one which is growing fastest in comparison with the rest of the world, we stand an opportunity to rewrite history in the world and get back our glorious days. May not be during my life, may not be during the life of my children, but definitely as we move forward. And for that, it is essential that the muscular strength that we are building, which I hope and pray will always be for deterrence and not for aggression, will not be misunderstood as a mental weakness which is by and large exploited by the neighbors, the enemies, the adversaries, as well as many, many people in the world who do not like the growth of India into not only a moral but an economic power as well. So in this context, I think we have to acknowledge if somebody gives us an acknowledgement or an approval, and just keep quiet and ignore if somebody doesn't. And if somebody goes to the extent of being arrogant, we just match the rhetoric and leave it there. And if somebody like Pakistan or for China decide that we need to be given some pinpricks, or what they call 1,000 cuts, then each cut can be retorted with another 1,000 cuts on their side, because we know that if we decide to hit, not any of them can bear the consequences. We have to remember we are a democracy. We are a democracy not because the West has made us so, but because of the democratic values we have held for centuries. We also have to remember that our democratic values are very close to our heart. We may have internal turmoils. We may have issues with mutual recognition. We may have issues with religious intolerance in some parts. But we also have to remember that this is the only place in the world today where any religion can live in peace without necessarily being oppressed or crushed under the hegemonious hand of the majority. We have a balancing society which, if any part of the society overdoes, the other part comes into play and will take care of the abhorrence. We do not need to seek approval. And this, I believe very strongly, is because the minute you try to seek approval, then that is seen as a weakness, and you have to cow down to thinking and rhetoric which is going around in the world, where they say what they like without necessarily understanding the issues that we have, because the rest of the world takes a stand based upon what is good for them. Typically, for example, if we are going to become very strong based upon our own strength in science, in AI, or in weapons and armaments and aircrafts as we keep going forward, there is bound to be negative feelings about it in every country in the rest of the world who have till now been the godfathers of this kind of activity. I think it is time we stand for ourselves, stand for our values, and do not wonder why is the world opposing us, but just take what is good among the rest of the world who is ready to acknowledge. And I can tell you the strength of this kind of silence, which is what I call active silence, when it comes to people opposing your philosophy, will get down one day to the depths of the other man's psyche, when he understands that this is being done for his good as well. I'm sure the Pakistanis do understand that we do not want in any way to destroy the country. We just want to live in peace and carry on with what we are wanting to do and become the power that we are destined to be. The pinpricks, the Operation Sindoors, which have been a great success, should be an aberration. It's not something that we are wont to. But it does not mean that we will take things lying down in the future. It's something which we need to give as an answer. But it is not necessary that we need to seek approval of these actions every time this happens, just because a bunch of countries in the world decide that they do not have enough proof for what we have done. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe. Thank you.